Are you already
Yep.
in your game? Okay. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Loot Pack. Today we're going to be reviewing Game of Thrones, Season 7, Episode 1. There will be a lot of spoilers in here, of course, but we're actually a little bit late for the party. We're almost a week past the air date, so sorry about that. We're going to be getting these out to you a little bit in a little bit more of a timely manner from now on. But until then, my name is Nukem. This is Skills with me. You can say hello now. So let's just jump right in. Of course, we're both huge Game of Thrones fans. Been waiting for this episode for obviously quite a long time. Just a quick overview. What'd you think of it?
I thought it's not, I don't know how to say it. I'm still a little disappointed because I was expecting more, but it's still, you can tell that they're building up to just something awesome. Whether it be the war between the North and the South again, or the war with the White Walkers.
Yeah, no, I mean, I definitely understand. I mean, I honestly, it felt a little bit just kind of like a continuation of the end of the last episode of last season, where we saw they were starting the road to what we've been waiting for, and now they're arriving to the starting points, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, all the pieces are just starting to come together.
Right. That being said, though, you know, I was definitely excited as soon as I saw that opening shot with all the, I think it was the opening shot with all the walkers.
Yes.
You know, walking through, and then we see the giants, which, you know, it's funny. I've maybe they have shown that before. I just have never seen it. But I thought it was really, really cool, and I was obviously hooked from the get-go whenever I saw that.
Yeah, that's definitely a big upper hand that the Night King has. I think it's showing that they have them now because they zoomed in on the face of the last giant who was alive that helped Jon Snow take Castle Black. So I think that was what he was saying, like, that's how close he is, that he's close enough to take the giants.
Oh, really? So I didn't get that. I didn't assume that was the same one. I just assumed it was a different giant.
I could be wrong.
They had a. I mean, you did see that they had a few. I would assume that they at least lit that body on fire.
Yeah.
God, I think that would have been priority one after we had Ramsay in his cell, but right. So,
to get 50 people to go drag this big guy out there, burn him with the rest of them.
Right. I mean, yeah. The last thing I'm wanting is for this dude to wake back up. So, but anyway, no, it was a really good opening scene. Of course, I mean, I think right after that, the scene that everybody was really talking about was the scene at the Freys, House Frey. Of course, I think we all knew immediately what was going to happen, what was going on. You knew it had to be her, so we knew Walder Frey was dead.
Yeah.
But you know, she definitely. The character definitely delivered with the dialogue, and then of course that last shot of her walking out of the banquet hall and just bodies everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, it was incredible.
She is she's definitely a savage. They killed her entire family and with all those men, and she single-handedly took out the entire Frey bloodline and sent a message to the entire kingdom that I believe she said the Starks or the Norse remembers, and she told that handmaiden or whatever, and she delivered the message, and they're like, oh shit, they're still here, they're still fighting.
Right. And of course, I mean, she doesn't actually. One thing I thought was really, really cool and really subtle was that, you know, obviously winter is coming is a Stark phrase, and the fact that she tells her to let people know that winter came for House Frey. I mean, it's subtle, it's kind of a hidden message, but something that you know, I think really speaks volumes.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that
I was like, here's the killer, the rest is going to be filler.
yeah. Still just more build up, and that's why I said it was kind of disappointing, but at the same time, everybody kind of expected it.
Right, right. Now the one thing I was a little bit curious about was her with the guards. What'd you think about that?
First off, I just want to point out that I was super excited that Ed Sheeran played a part in that. Very excited, huge Ed Sheeran fan. But I don't know, you'd think if they were as loyal as they say they're supposed to be. I mean, honestly, how threatened would you be if a little girl came up and said that she was going to go kill the queen at Seven Kingdoms? But at the same time, they should have taken it more seriously. And I think that they're going to obviously regret that. But I just want to see what she's going to do, where she's going to go with that. If she's going to use them to get in, or what she's going to do with that. Because she was kind of looking at their swords like, I could take all of you guys out right now before you could get to your swords.
Right. Well, another thing I thought was interesting was, I mean, these are definitely boys. These are not seasoned veterans. These are not battle-hardened soldiers.
At all.
Right, and it almost, and then the one started talking about, offers her the rabbit, and, tells her something about always being nice to a stranger because you may depend on that stranger to be nice to you, something like that. And I almost wonder how that's going to play in, and I almost wonder if it's going to be somewhat of an evolution for that character, kind of similar to what the Hound has gone through.
Yes.
So that's something, I don't know, that's just kind of a thought that popped in my head. Speaking of which, though, the Hound, what I thought, even further, now seems to be going even further on his character change, I would say.
Yeah, he's definitely starting to play a bigger part in the story.
Which I'm really, really into. I think I really like that character.
You remember he was one of my favorite characters since the second I met him. He didn't give a fuck about the king. I mean, whenever they Tyrion, I think it was season 3, they caught that fleet on fire and he took off running. He says, "Fuck the king, fuck the crown."
Right. Right. Yeah, I mean, look, the guy is the hard ass of the show. Not only that, he was, I don't know if you remember this or not, when he fought his brother at the jousting tournament, as soon as the king called for them to stop, he literally dropped or avoided being decapitated by obediently kneeling before the king.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't think twice about it. Yeah, the guy, I've always liked that character. He's a badass.
Yeah.
But the fact that now he has seen the Lord of Light, or at least some images in the flames, I think it's going to be real interesting where they go with that character.
Yeah, I think it's a big deal,
especially
him being as afraid of fire and against religion altogether, that he's actually now somewhat of a believer. I mean, the look of shock on his face whenever he actually saw the White Walkers and the army.
Right. And again, yeah, like you were saying, his fear of fire, and now finding, I guess, finding truth, maybe in the same flames. It's just, obviously, irony is a great part of storytelling, or a good part of great storytelling. Yeah. So, I think it's really going to be interesting the way they kind of do that. So, let's see. Obviously, what did you think about the part with Cersei and Jaime?
I think he's looking a little worried because she seems so determined that they can win, and he's trying to tell her, he's like, we only have 3 allies. We can't take on the 7 kingdoms with 3 allies, and he's trying to tell her all the things that are wrong with her, and he kind of notices from the Mad King her descent to madness, and I think he looks very worried. Something big might happen between them.
Yeah, that could actually be the case. I'm not sure. I mean, the thing is that one thing that actually really disappointed me about that plot point in particular was, I can't remember his name. What is the King of the Ironborn? What's his name?
It's Theon. Theon's uncle. I can't remember. Yeah. I can't remember his name either.
Well, whatever. My problem with that is his introduction at this late stage of the show, when we've only got this season and the next season, it really it has me worried, and I'll tell you why. Especially when he says something like, I'm going to bring you a great prize or something like that. I forget exactly how he put it. Right. Well, now here's the thing: if they write it in where now he ends up, I don't know, bringing her one of the heads of one of Daenerys' dragons,
Right.
that is actually going to upset me, because this character is he just came on the scene. Now, he's going to start getting into the mix with characters that, I've been watching and, kind of rooting for or against this entire time, and now you've put something else into the mix. It's kind of the same way as with Cersei. I was waiting for her to at least be taken down a peg for, season after season, right?
Yeah.
And then they put some new character in to do it. And it's like,
exactly.
It's not as satisfying when it happens that way. Because then, at that point, I'm actually rooting for her.
Yeah. You want someone who's been there, through who she's tormented much, much worse.
Exactly.
To
it's
deliver
like,
the final blow.
Right, I want her to be taken down a peg, but I don't want you to do it.
Yeah.
Who are you? I have no, the High Sparrow. I don't know who you are. I don't want to know.
Right.
So, anyway, so I'm worried it's going to kind of be like that, and I really hope that it isn't, but I don't see how it could not be.
Right. So, we still haven't heard from the little nun lady that she took, so I wonder what's going on with her as well. She
Oh, I know what's going on. Horrors. Horrors. It's
terrible
bad.
things.
It's so bad.
The end of season 6, she the mountain, she said, "This is your god now," and just walked out of the room.
Oh, I fear the worst. But you know what? Cersei was right. She did enjoy torturing her and all that kind of stuff. I believe that. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
How often do you get the chance to do that? Everyone enjoyed seeing it. Why wouldn't she enjoy doing it?
Right. Oh, shame. Shame. Right. So, it was. But anyway, so getting back to what I was saying, that is kind of what bothered me about the alliance with the Ironborn. So. Let's see, what else happened though? Oh, okay. What did you think about the whole stuff with Sam at the Citadel?
First off, Sam has been one of my favorite characters since he fled with that girl and the boy. He's such a funny guy, and I want to know. I want him to do more, and I think it's a big discovery that he's found. But I also want to know, what is he doing there? Is he training to become a maester? Is he just like a steward? I couldn't figure that out.
Yeah, he has to go there to receive training to be the maester at Castle Black.
Yeah. Okay. I didn't know if they were just like, we'll get to you at some point, but until then, go clean some chamber pots.
Right. Yeah, I think that's kind of the idea. But I have to say, I usually find Sam's parts of the story a little bit boring. This was no different. I thought it was way too long. I feel like I watched him gag at least 40 times. Of which, don't get me wrong, I got it. They're trying to show the monotony of what he's doing. But I really started to feel it myself. So I think that it was drawn out too far. They made it a little bit longer. I'm sure they could have put something else, maybe a little bit more high speed in there.
Yeah.
And maybe cut that down a few minutes. That being said, of course, I think probably the biggest thing, of course, finding the dragon glass under Dragonbone, which is actually where Daenerys landed, and we'll get to that in a second, but was seeing Ser Jorah, that's where Ser Jorah is.
Yes, and his disease has spread incredibly. It started on his hand, and now looks like it's completely covered his arm.
Right.
Wondering what he's going to where that's going to go. I'm
he's
excited
obviously there to get a cure.
Yeah.
So
I'm excited to see in general what how the disease is going to look in full effect, because we've always heard about it. It's always been kind of this dormant thing, and the little girl, what was her name? Stannis Baratheon's daughter had it too.
Yeah.
So
Right. Yeah, but hers I think was I don't know. I think it'd be kind of badass if Jorah, looked much more, just much more taken by the disease.
Oh, he already does.
Much,
it really
right,
just looked like
just
a bad
savage,
scar, and now it's red, and it's almost like some kind of monster.
Right. So, yeah, but now, however, we were talking about Sam finding all that, the discovery of the dragon glass under Dragon Bone, which is where, like I said, where Daenerys landed. So that to me makes me hopeful that she is going to be integral in the fight against the White Walkers.
I hope so. I hope that she will put her quest for power aside for a minute to see the big picture.
Right. Maybe even an alliance between her and the Starks.
Hopefully, that would be.
I mean, what would you?
And who knows? Maybe somehow I want them to find out and discover that Jon Snow and her are siblings.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So not only that, but Targaryens would wed their own family members.
Oh
so,
yeah.
God,
Absolutely.
can you imagine what a beautiful child that would be? I mean,
what a badass child that would be.
Her body, his hair, my God. So
his body, her hair.
Right. Oh.
Possibilities are endless.
Although the thing is, sometimes you get like two really good-looking people, and they end up having a weird-looking kid.
Just a child that looks like a foot. Like,
it's like, oh, here's our baby. Oh!
Jesus.
Yeah, you know what? You should put that out for the White Walkers. But anyway, so what do you think about? I thought it was kind of a neat way to end the episode with Daenerys and her arriving at Dragonbone, which we've never seen before, I don't think.
I believe that was because I remember the table. That was Stannis Baratheon's fortress.
Yeah, but I don't think we really saw the exteriors.
No, we really just saw that war room.
Right, the giant dragon heads out front. I thought that was really cool. Be honest with you though, I that's quite a walk to get up those stairs. Jesus,
Yeah.
I was watching. I was
Just
like,
I'm queen, carry me.
no, God, no wonder they rode dragons. My God. So yeah, that's the first thing I thought. I was like, Jesus Christ, who's climbing that? I mean, God, Sir Jorah would have taken three breaks.
Let's take a break, Khaleesi. Oh no!
Right.
Please, I'm like 60. Just let me rest.
Oh yeah, can you imagine Sam? Jesus.
Sam,
We're going all the way up.
He's got his girlfriend
Sorry,
like dragging
Sam,
him on a cart or something.
Oh my goodness. But yeah, but no, I thought it was a really neat castle. It'd be interesting to see if they try to bring it back to some sort of glory. Obviously, there's some. It looks somewhat in ruins, but it did look very neat. I thought the throne looked really interesting. I wasn't sure exactly what was going on there. Is it actually made of dragon glass? Is actually what I was wondering.
I'm thinking it might be. That's what I was just thinking. The same thing.
And that in itself would be a shitload of dragon glass to make use for weapons, I guess.
Oh yeah.
So, other than that, I guess nothing else really happened. I mean, we saw the Starks.
Yeah, nothing really of note with them. They're still just kind of. I mean, Jon Snow seems to be getting a little bit annoyed with Cersei, or no, I'm sorry, not Cersei, Sansa, for she's kind of undermining his authority, and he's kind of being the noble man, saying that he's not going to take houses from people for the sins of their fathers.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty big, and it's going to favor him in the long run.
One thing I did think was interesting is that he observed that she sounds like she admires Cersei.
Yeah.
Which to be honest with you, that actually kind of makes sense. And what I am really glad about is, and I've been talking about this for a couple of years now, I'm really glad that she is not the show's punching bag anymore.
Yeah, she's finally stepped up.
I've had just about enough, and I hated her in season 1.
Oh yeah.
Hated her. But by the end of season 3, I was like, okay, Jesus, can we give this girl a break? I mean, and then by the end of season 5, I was like, no, okay, we got to keep doing it.
No, okay, all right, thanks, Ramsey. Now you've
really so it's got to get worse. Then
nailed that coffin shut, didn't you?
Right. Yeah, I know. Theon Greyjoy would have buckled by now. So.
Theon Greyjoy was buckling the second that he got the straps put on his hands.
Right, exactly.
You want me to kill somebody? Rat on somebody? Yeah, I'll do it.
Oh my God, what a beat bitch. But anyway, but other than that, I think that's pretty much it. I mean, there wasn't a whole lot in this episode. Hopefully, everything we saw in this one kind of leads into a pretty killer-filled episode next week.
Yeah, I did not watch the. I hardly ever do. I did not watch the next time on Game of Thrones, but a friend of mine told me that it looks like it's going to be pretty intense. There should be some action.
Yeah.
Some more action.
Yeah, I'd really like to see those Dothraki in an open field.
Yes.
Doing some business, which I think we saw in the trailer. It looks like it is going to be unbelievable.
Oh yeah.
So, anyway, so all in all, what would you say? I would say I liked it. I was expecting maybe a little bit more, but it definitely has me on the hook for next week, as they always do.
Yeah, again, just as it's always known to do, there's always going to be those filler episodes, and this was it. But that build up, it's still building up, and once it finally breaks, I mean, it did like this. I believe it was last season for Battle of the Bastards. It was like 3 or 4 episodes,
right.
And then that Battle of the Bastards was just amazing. So I'm hoping that it'll do something like that again.
Right, but we're only supposed to have I think 16 to 20 more episodes.
Yeah, I think there's 7 or 8 episodes this season.
Right, so a lot of strings to get wrapped up and tied up. You know what I mean? Tie up all those loose ends. So I think it's time we need to start getting to work. But
what's your theory for how this season's going to go?
Oh, I don't even know because I haven't read any of the books.
Neither have
so
I.
I'm really not sure, and I try to stay off of the internet when it comes to this story.
Yeah.
For the most part, I'm successful, but it has happened where I've had to look. So
yeah.
How about you?
I don't know. I think my theory is that I think they're going to tie up the loose ends of Daenerys finally getting to the Iron Throne. I think that she's just going to completely demolish Cersei and all of her plans. And I think the next season they're going to end up focusing more on the war with the White Walkers, or vice versa. I could be completely
That would
wrong.
be, you see, I think that would be really cool. I mean, how is it possible they could not beat the Lannisters? And I mean, they've got the Unsullied. They've got the Dothraki.
I think she kept the Second Sons in Marine, didn't she?
Yeah, she left them in Marine.
She's got the fleet from the other Iron Wolves.
Right, their best. Not all the ships, but their best.
Yeah.
And then
that's not even mentioning all of the allies that she's going to gain now that she's in Westeros, like you were about to say.
Well, yeah, and, the Tyrells.
Yeah.
The Sands from
Dorne.
Dorne, right. I just don't understand how she could possibly lose. So
she's definitely holding a lot of cards. Cersei is again. She seems like she's kind of losing it a little bit, and if we go look back at her prophecy of all of her children are going to die, and she's going to be everything that she wanted is going to collapse around her, and she's going to be surrounded by people who don't trust her.
Right. Well, I mean, let's be honest. I mean, she's a pretty toxic bitch. So.
I think that's kind of what Sansa's seen, and like you said, she's kind of admiring her. Like, she may be a raging bitch and everybody hates her, but you got to give it to her. She knows how to rule, and she knows how to get stuff done.
I will. I will give her that. I will give her that. So she's at least a formidable foe.
Yeah.
But
Serious
anyway,
threat.
anything else to add?
Nothing really. I would just like to say again that we'd like to hope to get this out a little bit sooner next week. I know that we've had some stuff going on outside of the channel that's been kind of obstructing us, but other than that, hopefully we can get it out there sooner.
Yep, absolutely. Of course, again, like I say, we're just, we're huge fans of the show, and we talk about it anyway. If anybody out there listening, wants to talk about it with us, or leave any questions in the comments, just don't hesitate to do that. Make sure hit that like button, subscribe, please, and you can tune into us every week, and we'll get them out a lot sooner. So have a good night, guys. Thanks.
Yes, thank you.